Okay, so in this part of the video, we will finish off the placement of the towers. So we'll add a few things. We'll like to be able to drop a tower when we press the escape button, because as of right now, whenever we click a tower, we will not be able to drop it again without placing it. So let's say we're playing our game, we click a button by mistake. Well, then we would like to be able to put it down or put it away without having to place it, so we don't waste our gold or our money. So let's make sure that we can drop the tower by pressing the escape button. Besides that, I would also like to indicate some color on the tile that tells us where we want to place it and where we can't place it. For example, if I take this tower, I would like this tile I'm mousing over with the tower to turn out green if I can place it, and turn out red if I can't place the tower there. For example, if I try to place the tower on top of another tower, as I can do right now. So we'll also make sure that we can't place more towers on the same tiles. Okay, so first of all, let's make sure we can drop the towers. To drop a tower, we will have to go to our game manager script, and in here we are going to create a new function, because we are going to create a function called private void handle. Let's just say handle escape. So basically, I'm creating a function for handling all our escape presses. And the reason that I'm creating a function for it instead of just putting it in update is because we're going to do quite a lot of things on escape. Escape is, for example, going to deselect the tower whenever we click on it in the game later. It's going to drop our towers as we do now when we press escape. And it's also going to open up and close our menu later. So for now, let's just create a function here. So what is this function going to do? Well, the function is going to handle escape right now. So we can start saying if input.getKey down keycode.escape. You can also put another button if you don't want to put it on escape, but I think escape is a fine button to drop your stuff on. So then we are going to say inside, when we press escape, we are going to say hover.instance.deactivate. So when we press escape, we are going to deactivate our hover icon. Another thing, besides that, inside our hover icon, we have this follow function here. And this makes our mouse follow, our hover icon follow the mouse no matter what, even if our sprite renderer isn't enabled. So basically, I would like to put an if statement around this so that our follow mouse function only executes when our hover icon is active. It's just it doesn't really matter, but it's just better just to make sure that it doesn't follow the mouse when we don't need it. So we can say if our sprite renderer dot enabled, and then make an exclamation mark in front of it, or no, sorry, it only if it's enabled. So this is exactly what we want to do, and then put this inside the if statement. So now it will only follow our mouse around when the sprite renderer is actually enabled and active here. Besides that, I've also gotten a comment on the last video about where to place the actual, let's see if I can find it, tile script here, place the actual deactivation of the hover icon here. And this person, I'm not even sure what his name was, it was like Denise or something, maybe I'm butchering the name. Denise said that this one would be better placed inside the game manager's buy function, and it's actually correct. I would also say it makes more sense that the game manager handles the deactivation and the activation of the hover icon instead of every single tile. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't change the code, it changes the code, but it doesn't change the game at all. So if you want to do like me, you can cut this one out. I'm going to take line 74 here and cut it, and then I'm going to go to my game manager, and I'm going to find the buy function and then paste the line of code in here instead. And everything works exactly the same way as it did before. It's just a little, not optimization, but placement of code so it makes more sense. Yes. So if you save this now, then the thing we need to look for is this handle escape function here. So handle escape needs to be called somewhere. We need to go to update and write handle escape. That went well. There we go. And then we need to save this. So now we have handle escape executing update, which means that we can go in here and we can play our game, and I can maybe take my tower here and I can press the escape button to drop the tower again. And I can press the escape button to drop the tower, but as you could see, I can take a tower, press escape button, and I can still place a tower even though I just pressed the escape button. So we also need to make sure that we can't place a tower after we press the escape. We don't only need to remove the visual thing, we also need to make sure that we can't press the escape button. So to do that, we need to go to our hover script and go to the deactivate function and write game manager.instance, and then we need to get our click button and set it equal to null, because we're checking if our click button is null before we actually set anything. So right now it's complaining because I don't have access to set the click button from other scripts. So I need to go to my game manager and go up here and remove private set. So basically I need to remove the private part so that I'm able to set it from other scripts, because before we didn't have the need for setting it from another script. Okay, so now in my hover I'm able to set the click button to null. Let's see, and we're doing it on by tower as well, that's fine. Actually, then we don't need to, in by tower, we don't even need to set click button to null, because our hover.instance.deactivate already does this for us. So we can actually jump back to our game manager and remove click button 0 from our by tower here. Yes. Okay, so let's try one more time. Let's try to save and jump back in here, run the game. Let's try to click a tower, press escape. And now I'm not able to place it, but I can click it here and place it afterwards. So now my escape button works as intended. I'm able to pick up towers and drop them again without placing them in my actual level here. Okay. So that was the placement of the towers. The next thing I want to do is to make sure that we can see a color when we hover over one of our tiles here. So let's go to our, what script we want to do it? We want to do it in our tile script here. So in our tile script, we already have a function called onMouseOver. And as we which we talked about earlier, was that fact that when you mouse over any of the tiles, this mouse over function is called. So we need some kind of way to indicate a color on one of our tiles. So first of all, we need to define some colors, and I have already written down 2 colors I would like to use for the tiles. You can use your own colors if you want to, so you can always adjust these. I'm just going to use some RPG colors here. First of all, I'm going to make a private color 32 and call it full color. So this color will be shown on the tile if there's something on the tile already. For example, if there's standing a tower on the tile, then I want it to light up in red because I tried to place it there if there's a monster or something else on the tile. Or I've simply chosen to make one of the tiles unwalkable, for example. Okay, so full color is equal to new color 32, and it is 255, 118, 118, 255. That's the red color I want to use. So you could say equals color.red, but the color.red is a little too dark for my taste. So I've created this color instead. So we have private color 32, and this is empty color, and it's equal to new color 32. And also you could say equals color.green, but I think that color.green is a little too dark. So I'm simply going to use this color here called 96, 255, 90, and 255. And there we have it. So these are the 2 colors we will use to light up our tiles when we mouse over them. So where should we do this? Well, we should go to the mouse over function. So let's go to our onMouseOver function. First of all, we can just make a test to see if this works. So we should do it inside this if statement here, because we only want to do it when we are not mouse overing any UI elements. So we can say here color, actually let's make a function for it. Let's make a new function down here called private void color tile. And let's see, color tile just needs a color, and then it says the tiles color. Actually, yeah, sprite renderer Then we have a sprite renderer. Okay, so we haven't made the sprite renderer yet, so we need to do that. Let's go to the top here. I guess I confused the tile script with something else where we already made the sprite renderer. So private sprite renderer, sprite renderer. And remember to set it. We need to go to start and say sprite renderer equals get component sprite renderer. There we go. So we don't do the same mistake as we did in an earlier video where I forgot to set this. So now we are 100% sure that the sprite renderer inside our script has a reference to the actual tiles sprite renderer. So we open the map. So we have a reference to this sprite renderer right here. So we can go here and change the color, as you can see. Let's say if we want to make this one red when we mouse over it, or if we wanted to make this one green, for example, when we are mousing over it like this, right? Or red like this. So this is exactly what we're going to do from our script by using the sprite renderer. Okay, so if we jump, yeah, now I'm opening Photoshop, that's not the case, what I wanted. Give me 1 sec, sorry. There we go. Let's see. Let's say that ours, let's give a new color here. Color, new color. So our sprite renderer dot color equals new color. So I'm not even sure if I wanted to make a function for this, but yeah, whatever. Now I made a function and it's private right now, so maybe we'll make it public later if we need to change the color from another script for some reason. So yeah, that's why we're creating a function for it, so we might use it later. So up here we can say on mouse over we can say color tile, and let's say we want to make it full color just for testing. Yeah, so now we want to make it full color. Or actually, let's take the color tile and put it out here and save. Because if we put it inside the if statement, it will only work when we pick up a tower, and we are not interested in using a tower right now. We just want to test, so just keep it up here for now and then save and jump back into Unity, play the game, and mouse over tiles. Now you can see you can paint with your mouse, can actually paint all the tiles red. But that is not what we want. We would like them to change back to their original color when you mouse out of them. So we need to go to a mouse exit function, and in there we actually need to set the color to a normal color. So we need to make a function called on mouse exit, and I don't think we have it yet. We don't. So after our on mouse enter over, sorry, we can make a private void called on mouse exit, and here we can say color tile, and we can just give it color.white. So on mouse exit is called whenever your mouse exits one of the tiles. So mouse enter is called when they enter the tile, and exit is called when the mouse exits it. And when it exits, we would like to color it white. So let's try to run the game. And if we mouse over this one, it becomes red. And when we move the mouse, it turns back to its original color, because the original color was white. So now you can see we can actually move around a square here. So now we can color a tile and we can remove the color again, but that's very nice. That's not what we want. We want it to be useful for something. We want it to be useful for actually checking if we can place a tower at a position or not. So our tiles need a new field. We need to go to the tile script, and inside the tile script we'll have to make a new boolean. And let's just go here and make a new property. Actually, let's make it up here, and we need to make it into a bool. So, and we can call it is empty. So this one is empty is going to be used by our pathfinding as well, because our monsters will not be able to walk on a tile that is full, right? So it's only if it's empty we can walk on that tile. So in this case we will make this one public, and we will make a get and a set, because later our algorithm needs to look at these and set these according to stuff later. So basically I think we are going to leave public, and with a, let's just make a private set now. and then we can always make it public later and remove the private later if we don't need to set it, for example. So yeah, for now, leave it like this, because then we can always change it later. Anyway, isEmpty indicates if there is a tower on it or not. So if isEmpty is true, then it's empty and we can put a tower there. If isEmpty is false, then it's full and we can't put a tower there. You can also, if you think it's make more sense to make one is full or something instead, then you can also do it reverse of what I'm doing. But for now I'm using isEmpty. So isEmpty, let's see. Where do you want to set this? Well, we want to set this whenever we have placed a tower. So let's see where it makes more sense to set it. So basically we can just set it to false in our place tower. We can say isEmpty equals false, because when we call place tower, well, then we will place the tower on the actual tile, and the tile will not be empty anymore. And besides that, we'll also need to make sure that isEmpty is true from the beginning, because there's nothing on the tiles when they spawn. So we can say inside setup isEmpty equals true, because it's empty from the get-go. So now we have actually set it both places. Yeah. So we will need to go to our on mouse over now, and here we need to make an if statement. So if is empty. So if our tile is empty, then we can color the tile empty color, because it needs to be green, right? When we try to put something on it. And then we can make an else if is empty. You can also just make an else, but let's just do like this. If it isn't empty, then we can say color tile full color. So yeah, I'm not sure if I should make if statements or else ifs, but yeah, for now I'll just put it as this. Later we will use the A star or the pathfinding for algorithm to check if I need to color a tile full color, but for now we can just check if it's empty or not. But later we will use the algorithm to determine this. For example, if you try to block off the path, it will also make the tile red, because you shouldn't be able to block the path between start and goal and so on. But that will make sense later. So for now, let's just check if it's empty or not. So if we save and jump back here and play the game, you will see that all the tiles are now green when we mouse over them with a tower in our hand. If we click a tile, it will turn white again when we place it. Then I can take another tower, and if I try to place the same tower on another tower, it will be red, as you can see here, but it will turn green right away when you move the mouse outside this one. So this makes it easier for us to see what tile we are placing our tower on, and it makes it easier for us to see if we are able to place the tower or not. So right now you can see when I place the tower, the tile is still green until I move the mouse out of the space here. As you can see, it's still green. So we would also like to turn it white when we place the tower as well. So let's just do that before we end the video. Here. And again, I open up Photoshop. Great. So let's see. We place our tower here. So inside place tower, we can actually also say that our color should be white. So we can just take this code here and copy it and paste it in here. There we go. And let's try to save. If we go back here, and we see we place the tower and it turns green, as you can see. But as you can see, we're still able to set the tower on top of another tower. So we should also fix that thing, because right now the color is working. We can move it around, but it tells us it's red, that we can't place it. But we can still place it by clicking the mouse. So let's just fix that also before the video ends here. So the easiest way to do this is to jump to your tile script. And inside the tile scripts on mouse over, we simply have to make an else if statement instead of an if statement. So right now we need to remove the else from this one. And we need to put this one, the lowest one down here, into an else if statement. Because then the code would jump in here, check this one, and check this one, and it will only check this line of code, line 74, if this one up here isn't true, which means it will only try to place a tower if there is a room on the tile. If there's no room on the tile, well, then this one is true, which means that it will never check this one, because it's an else if statement now. So if we save this and jump back into Unity and click tower, we can place the tower here. We can take another tower, and now we're not able to place it on top of the other tower. As you can see, we can only place it on tiles around it. So that's it. Now we have some better placement of our towers. We can see where we place our towers. We can see that we can't place our towers where the tiles are red, and we can't place the towers on top of other towers. Later we will also fix it so that we can't place towers on top of the portals, of course, but I will wait with that until our pathfinding, because it's going to make it way easier to do that. So thank you very much for watching, and remember to share my videos if you like my videos, and that will help me with some extra views and everything. Also remember to like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already. Besides that, remember that InScope Studios is a community founded page, so all your support is very important to me. I can see lots of you guys are supporting me, so that's very, very awesome. It makes it way easier for me to afford new sprites for my next tutorials and keep making better and better tutorials. Also, you can support me in different ways. You can support me by getting one of my projects as a standalone product, or you can also go to the Patreon page where you can support me and get every single project that I've ever created, by clicking the link in the top of the screen. So thank you very much for watching.